Thank you for the new SC2 content. It's improving my lifestyle. Ah, let's go. That's the case. I'm glad. Hope you're doing well. But here we go. We're jumping into our first series and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic. We have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg player himself. It is YoungYakov. And spawning. See, what build should I do? Icon drop. In the right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is a Shameless. He's shameless, pappy. Aye. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our ZVP. Best of luck. Not quite working. I'll do it manually. Yeah. So I have to fix that up. Oh no, yeah, it's currently ongoing. Yeah. So predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. Best of luck, man. Best of luck. So now we have our Hatchcast pool, standard opener at the YoungYakov. Likewise, Shameless going for his own gate expand into Cybercore as well. Going to be settling in. From here, when it comes to these two players, I do lean towards Shameless. Shameless is the favorite player here between the two, but they're both quite close in skill. They're both up-and-comers from the European region, and they're both very competitive with each other. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes all the way to the ace match. Again, this could go either way. Now, when it comes to our two players here, Shameless is a little more mid-game oriented, even late game. Like, he does play standard more than anything. Was being a little bit cheeky with YoungYakov, asking him what build to go for, but more or less we do expect Stargate into Twilight Council Forge, into the third base, into the mid-game. YoungYakov, on the other hand, can be more aggressive, can be more assertive. I don't feel like the last series really did justice as to how he typically does approach this matchup, how he does approach the mid-game. We'll get more into it though. Oh, Shameless being as annoying as possible, does delay the third base, does cancel though, and oh, just in time. Ideally, Shameless wants to delay for what, 2-3 more seconds for the Adept to arrive. The Adept does shade in, and then the Adept can focus on the drone. So very close, very clutch. In the end though, Shameless was denied. If the Adept gets here in time, kills the drone, then you get a massive lead as you heavily delay the third base of your opponent. But YoungYakov does manage to expand. The Overlord is being hunted down. Remember, there's no pillar here to be safe on. Can he get away? No. The Overlord, get out of here. Come back. He's bobbing. He's weaving. He's weaving away. It's the Overlord. No, okay, there we go. I was like, no shot he gets away. He might actually. Oh my god. Yakov is having fun. Yeah, Ling's are here to protect the Overlord. Shameless, does he move out? He doesn't. Yeah, at this point the Overlord does get away. That should not have happened, by the way. Behind this, Twilight Council, Stargate into a third base, into an early Twilight Council. That's a very early council. Because it's so early, I lean towards Glaive Adepts. Gateways are being turned down as we speak. So leaning towards Glaives here. Meanwhile, Eva Chamber at the YoungYakov going to +1 melee. This tells us that YoungYakov wants to skip Roaches, that wants to skip Banelings, and go into Ling Hydra. We'll see if he does get a safety Roach Horn though. See if he does get it for safety. If not, he will be in danger, he'll be in trouble. Twilight Council is done, show us the upgrade of choice. What do you have for us? There it is, Glaives. As you mentioned, early Council typically means Glaive Adepts. And this is why I mentioned that because Yakov is going to +1 melee, this is benefiting Shameless. There is no Roach Horn, there are no Banelings. If it's a pure Ling Queen defense, then Glaive Adepts will have their way with this kind of army. Oh, let's say recall back home. Gain 2 drones and doesn't lose a single Adept. Very nice recall. Saves all the Adepts. Oracle pokes in. No major damage yet. So Oracles, they poke in, they pull away. Keeping Yakov busy. There is a Baneless in production that will help if given enough time to react. Then we can morph in some Banelings defensively, and that can defend against Adepts. Lings, they do attempt to surround. Oh, not quite able to though. Clutch moves there by Shameless. Seeing these Adepts is not a tell, but the next warp in is. Yeah, the next warp in is. Here we go. It is go time. Shameless here to shade across the map. Yakov does now confirm. He knows. Yeah, he now knows, but again, the Baneless isn't ready yet. It's not ready yet, Pappy. He needs more time. It's going to finish up in a couple of seconds. Lings, they can race back home to morph into Banelings. So you can see here we're trying to fully wall off. And here we go. 8, 9 Banelings morphing in. 10 Banelings even. Now we'll defend. Revelation does spot the Banelings. Adepts, they shade into the mineral line. Drones are going to be going down, but the Banelings, they do finish morphing. They're coming. The Banelings, they're waddling in. Adepts, they're trapped. Massive connections, catching up most of the Adepts. Most, but not all. Yeah, not all. Adepts, they get into the mineral lines. They get into the natural. 6, 7 drones going down. They're still not done. This is getting out of hand. Getting out of hand at this point. We have more Adepts on the way. Shading to the third. 9 drone kills. Ooh, there's no Spore. Yeah, there's no Spore. The Queens are out of position as well. 14 drones going down. This is game ending. This is game ending damage as we have more Adepts working up here at the third base. They do shade away. Back at home, we have +1. We have Blink. We have Storm. Now, on the one hand, this is all late. True, Blink is late. +1 is late. All this is delayed. But the economy's been crippled, right? Shameless, he has dealt crippling damage. Shameless is on 70 probes against the 54 workers of YoungYakov. Yakov is re-droning, resaturating Yakov. He is behind heavily here in the economy, and Shameless can comfortably build up. Just comfortably build up. Now, because Yakov is so far behind, we have a couple of choices to make here. Do we try to drone a macro and stabilize, or do we go for an all-in? I'm leaning towards a 3-base all-in. It's going to be a weak all-in because we have to re-drone and it is very delayed, but I do feel like there's a higher chance of winning with an all-in than with trying to recover economically. But we'll see. Still waiting for the lair. Jesus, very late lair here. Oh, hello. Going for the pits and going for +1 carapace. Huh. Okay, so a couple of things. +1 carapace is usually never upgraded just because it's a bit of a waste. There's no need to invest into those upgrades. But for +1 carapace and +2 melee, this screams ultras, right? Infestation pit, no Hydroden, no Den, no Roach Warren, no Spire. This screams fast Hive and fast ultras. This is a big gamble, this is a big risk, but considering the game state, YoungYakov has to take a risk. So there's the Hive, as we mentioned. Yep, Hive. And this should be for Ultras. That would be the only reason why we have Carapace upgrades on the way, is for Ultra Tech. Otherwise, it would just be a waste of resources. Now the question becomes, can Yakov survive until Ultras? Because Shameless is already moving in. Yeah, Lings, they go for the run by, they go for the counterattack. Cannons are in position. Main army does push forward. Storm does right away. Yeah, Storm does zone. We have some slow banes morphing in. Yeah, slow banes, they cannot trade well against Stalkers. And Yakov is just being bullied back. At the same time, does get into a mineral line. Oh my god, the Lings. Yeah, Lings swap up. Mass Storm on the slow banes. Oh my god. Yeah, Banelings, they do nothing. What is it? Is it like 11 Banelings to kill 1 Stalker? Like, Baneling speed is done. Don't quite make a pass. Nice Storm on the Lings. Oh my god. And GG gets called. We don't get to see the Ultras as Shameless takes game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Shameless does take a lead in the series. Again, a really rough start for YoungYakov. Winding up back, this came down to the Glaive Adepts. The Adepts, they did crippling damage, 14 drones going down. More than that, denied mining time, crippling the economy, trading well against the Ling Bane. YoungYakov did morph in those Banelings barely in time, but it was still a last-second choice, a last-second decision, and it was still a very shaky defense. In the end, the Adepts, they still wreak havoc. They still dealt crippling damage. GG. And again, from there, we saw that YoungYakov, he was forced into a fast hive. He had some choices to make, either fast hive or like some kind of Ling Bane all-in or Roach all-in or Hydra all-in. Tried to take up, got shut down. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're now going to be loading into game 2, and we'll see if we can force the ace match. Personally, I want to see a game 3 regardless of how the series ends, but the pressure is on Yakov. Let's go. Pressure is on. Spawning in the top left-hand corner here of Winter Madness, we have the red Zerg player. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace match. It is YoungYakov. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. He's Shameless. Shameless. Let's go. So again, the quarterfinals are underway. And so far it's looking to be a fast series, but we'll see. We are loading into a much larger map this time. Welcome to Winter Madness. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground, more defendable bases, so there's a higher chance we do end up in a longer standard game. But once again, I feel like the eyes are going to be on Shameless here. Does he go for another faster Twilight Council? Does he go into faster tech? Does he do something more nefarious? Eyes are on Shameless. He is Shameless. True. Bearing in mind the winner of this series does advance on to the semifinals, and the winner of, and most likely going up against the winner of Bjorn and Hupsaya in those upper semis. When it comes to PiGosaur Cup, it does have a unique format in the sense that semifinals are not held. Typically for other tournaments like Warden TV Monday or Sparkling Tuna Cup, we do hold the semis to cast one after the other. That is not the case for PiGosaur Cup, just bear that in mind. So depending on how fast the upper semis are, we might be able to cover both, but otherwise only one. Typically. I should also mention the other unique thing about PiGosaur Cup is that the semifinals are best of 5s, not best of 3. We got the juice. We got the juice. Let's go. Shameless does pull away. Back at him, it is going to be a Stargate open out of Shameless. Everything's looking normal so far, but hey, even last game it was a Stargate first. It's all about the timing of the Twilight Council. Probe moves in to pylon block once again. Adept is on the way. Yakov, he actually slips by the Adepts. Ooh, cheeky moves out of Yakov. He wants to go for the backstab. And can he get into the mineral line? Does he go for the pylon? What are we going for? The pylon is going to be under fire. Again, cheeky moves here by Yakov. Boys are being pulled, and can we save the pylon? We cannot. Okay. Yeah, Yakov snipes the pylon. Keeps moving in. Adept does race back home to defend. Now, these things shouldn't kill any probes in the mineral line. The probes should be safe. Oh. But mining is being lost. Yeah, mining is being lost. Bit of a late reaction there by Shameless as he does not get this around. Oof. Even supply blocked. Oh my god, he can't make the Oracle. He doesn't. Yeah, he cannot make the Oracle. He's supply blocked. Nice around here. 2 probes do fall. Shameless does defend, but again, a very shaky early game now for Shameless. Late Oracle, late tech, late third base, late mining, 3 dead workers. Yakov takes a lead. Okay. Yakov does take a lead early on. From here, droning up, saturating, and now it's going to be on Yakov to survive the counterattack. We have 2 Adepts shading out across the map. 2 Adepts, they one-shot probes, or they one-shot drones. Oh, doesn't go though, as he has to protect his third. Okay. He's stuck at home. Stuck at home expanding. But again, a very late third base here for Shameless. Now gets thrown down. Greens are in position. Eva Chamber behind the middle line is going for +1 melee. So just like last game, +1 melee should lead into Ling Hydra. I do believe that last game the attempted rush into Ultras was a reaction to falling behind. I don't think it was the initial plan. We'll see if that's the case here. That's an early council. I mean, I say it's an early late council, if that makes sense. In the grand scheme of things, it is a late tech structure and a late Twilight Council, but in comparison to the timing of the third base, it is early. When you compare it to the third. Which makes sense. I feel like there's a little pressure on Shameless to find some damage, so that he might go into Glaive Adepts again. I'm leaning towards Glaives for a second time this series. So I'm getting Deja Vu. Meanwhile, earlier Baneliness out of YoungYakov. It will be ready in time. And the Overlord is confirmed. And oh, it is not Glaives. It is going to be early charge. Okay. The problem is that just like Glaive Adepts, charge like this is vulnerable to Roaches and to Banelings. Banelings are going to be on the way. So Yakov, he will have the tools to defend. Whether or not he does, we'll see. Now, the other important factor here is that typically these early charge timings hit with Archons. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Temple Archives to morph in like 1 or 2 Archons with the Mass Zealot all-in. As we have 6 gates on the way, 2 already done, it's going to be a 3-base, 8-gate all-in here for Shameless. Did I say 8? He's going up to 9. Do we go to 10? With the extra gateways, there's a higher chance there will not be an Archon. That means that there's no Temple Archives. No, okay, there it is. So Temple Archives on the way. As I mentioned before, the goal here is to warp in 2 Archons to support the all-in. Now, because Archons are going to be in the mix, that does mean that there is an answer to the Banelings. We have a couple of Banelings. And we'll into the mineral line. Oh my god. Do not get the Adepts. But defensive Banelings, the way that this works here is ideally Shameless, he wants to try to focus them down and push forward with the Archons in front of the Zealots, make sure the Zealots don't move in, focus on the Banelings with the Archons, and then rush through once the Banelings are dealt with. That should be the plan. Alright. He spots the Archons. Yeah, so Yakov, he spots the Archons. Bearing in mind, he did ask Shameless to Archon drop in game 1. True. But does scouts. Banelings are morphing in, Hydras are massing as well. Again, YoungYakov, he has scouting information, he has the information he needs to react, to respond, to get ready. So again, this is looking rough for Shameless. YoungYakov, he's getting ready back at home. He is looking secure. And one way or the other, the game ends here. Banelings to roll in. So far, once again, good position with the Archons. Either Shameless kills Yakov or he dies trying. Banelings are coming from behind. Ooh, massive connections. The Archons go down. GG gets called. And YoungYakov takes game number 2. We're going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game 3. Again, just a very rough start for Shameless. He essentially fell behind. He stayed behind. It came down to the early Ling Harass. The early Ling Harass did crippling damage. Supply blocking his opponent, delaying the tech, delaying mining, killing probes, and delaying the third base. So much damage was done by those early 6 Lings. That was game. That was game then and there. We saw that Shameless tried to turn that into a 2-base all-in, or into a 2.5-base all-in, but he was just too far behind. YoungYakov, he also saw the all-in coming at a time. He scouted. He was more than ready. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match, and we'll see how the story ends. We'll see who will claim the series. Will go the way of Shameless or YoungYakov. We're here to find out. Here to find out. Yo, we did just get an update here. Tabito did take down Solicitors 2-1. Big shout out to Tabito. Big shout out. Tabito. Bienvenidos Cyclones. Bienvenidos. Go. And here we go, we're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the top, or in the bottom left hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself. Whew, tying up the series 1-1 and forcing that ace match, it is YoungYakov. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Here we go. Oh, now we're in Tourmaline. Tourmaline is one of the smallest maps in the map pool. A hyper aggression is favored here, and no surprises as YoungYakov does veer off with a drone and is going for the proxy hatchery. Let's go. Now we can just go for the block in the actual base itself, or we can disrupt the initial wall off. It looks like we're just going for the block. Okay, so hatch block here at the natural. This is not for an all-in. This is not for anything aggressive. It's a macro build. It is a macro build. It's designed to put the Protoss player behind by delaying the expansion, by expanding back at home and droning up. This is the equivalent of like a pylon block, I suppose, or an eBay block. So we have the block. As you can see, Yakov going hatch gas pool. So later spawning pool. Again, there's no threat of a link flood or any kind of all-in. And Shameless doesn't pull the boys. Okay. It's very common to pull 7 probes to focus on the hatchery, but no, Shameless is going for a 2-gate response instead. Now, this is how it's going to be really intense dynamic here. The way this works is that so Shameless is going to be waiting for his first 2 zealots. He's going to make 2 zealots to focus this down, and then he's going to make 2 adepts behind this. So he'll have 2 stalkers, sorry, 2 adepts, 2 zealots as well. After he does force a cancel, or after he kills the hatchery and moves out across the map, it's going to be up to YoungYakov to survive that counterattack and to defend. And it's going to be a clutch hold. So he's going to have 2 queens. He's going to have 2 queens. He'll have a handful of slow lings. I believe this will hit before ling speed. So we'll see how Yakov is able to react. As here comes that second zealot. Cybercore is done, and then we have the 2 adepts thereafter. And again, they will clean this up. They will shut down the hatchery. Making a queen is ambitious to spread creep. Very ambitious. Now, because the hatchery finishes, it is going to buy time. It's buying time for YoungYakov to get ready back at home and get ready for the counterattack. Ooh, you're making 6 lings. Okay. 6 lings on the way. 8 lings even. Queen pops out. And can the queen survive long enough to get a tumor? Can he throw down a creep tumor? Lings ahead for the adept. The adept has arrived. Oh, there it is. There's a tumor. Yeah, tumor gets thrown down. And can it finish? Oh, no, it cannot. We tried a body block. Yeah, tumor is denied. If that tumor would finish, then we could never expand without detection, of course. So Shameless would need an observer or an oracle. But the tumor gets focused down. The queen falls as well. And Shameless will hold. But again, this hatchery is still alive. It's still buying more time. We have another queen on the way. Should be denied. It is going to be cancelled. It's going to be denied. Yakov has time to get ready back at home. It's gearing up. Ling speed is done. Ling speed does finish. Here comes a counterattack. But because Yakov bought enough time for Ling speed to complete, Yakov is making Lings. Yakov should be fine. Should be perfectly fine. Shameless does counterattack. Got 4 adepts. Up against 14, soon to be 16 lings. Now, one of the reasons why we can afford all these things and the initial queens is no third. There's no third expansion. So there is that downside. Shameless picks forward. But again, cannot commit to these shades. Ling's aiming for this round. Trying to catch out the adepts. The Oracle does go ham. Queen's to hit support. The Oracle takes a lot of hits. Oh no! Oh, the Oracle barely gets away. Yakov does defend. Shuts down the army, now claiming his own third base. At the same time, Shameless going for a Twilight counter behind this. Do we go into Glaives? As Shameless is double expanding. Oof. Yeah, double expanding here by Shameless. Later forward, so no Glaive Adepts. Looking like Blink or Charge. And the game is going to slow down. We're slowing down from here. Oh. Once again, going to be deflected. The Oracles do pull away. Fast relay out of YoungYakov. He does cancel +1 melee. And we have the answer here. No Blink, Charge. Interesting. So Blink would have been a better defensive tool. Charge, of course, more aggressive. Does make sense considering the deficit that Shameless is on. As more Lings move out. Now, these Lings are going to be applying pressure, but more importantly, do they force Zealot Warp-ins? Currently, YoungYakov does not know what's going on. There it is. He does force it. He has Zealot Warp-in defensively. Now, YoungYakov knows that there is Charge on the way. Baneling is already halfway done. Hydra gets thrown down as well, and we will need Baneling to defend. Yakov is getting ready. Shameless likewise setting up his Archons. Shameless does cut workers here at 3 base saturation. 66. Likewise, Hydras are amassing. We've got 6 Banelings morphing in, going for a run by actually instead. Bold move. Okay, we need defensive Banelings here. There we go. They're on the way. Here comes Shameless. He's rushing across the map. Results are revealed. Banelings should be activated. And they are. Banelings are making their way in. I was going for the Templar. Oh my god, 4 Templar go down, already worth it. And 2 Banelings that get into the middle line. 11 probes go down. Ay, Shameless. He was already going for the all-in, but he's forced into it. Losing 4 High Templar is brutal. Ay. And he's setting up defensively. Yeah, Shameless, he's no longer pushing, throwing down a wall of stasis traps. This does allow YoungYakov to drone up to get away with his 4th base saturation and to get ready with his Ling Bane Hydra in the mid game. Now from here, Yakov has to make a choice. Does he max out on Ling Bane Hydra and all in with Ling Bane Hydra with a layer tech composition, or do we get an Infestation Pit and tech up into lurkers? Do we go for lurker tech? What's the plan? For now, he's building up his army. Getting a 5th base. And he's pushing. Yeah, so he's looking to max out. He's doubling down on Ling Bane Hydra. He's not teching up. Storm is done. True. Storm is ready this time. We've got at least 4 Storms. Then 1 Lance 2. Oh my god. Yeah, it does punish the Hydras. A lot of Hydras go down. At the same time, they'll run by here towards the south side. YoungYakov is out of position. Drones will be falling. Nice run by here by Shameless. Very nice as more drones are going down. And more drone kills. Banelings aren't ready. A couple of Hydras get caught out. And overall, this was better for Shameless. Deals economic damage, distracts his opponent, catches some of the main army, connects with some storms. But the question is, how many storms do we have left? 2. soon to be 3. So 2, soon to be 3 storms. There's only 3 High Templar. So there's not many storms left, and Yakov is not backing off. Does take a storm to the face. At the same time, Lingbane does flank. Does head for the mineral line. Bailey's making their way in. And he does get into the middle line. Oh my god, getting 12. 12 probes go down. Getting into 13. Yakov will throw away these Hydras. But he gets in once again. Oh my god. 16. 16 probe kills. And Shameless is being torn apart. He cannot keep up. He will lose his final High Templar. Ay, ay, ay. Once again, it was a shaky early game for Shameless. To have his natural delayed for so long. And Yakov is going for the kill. He's going for the kill. As we have 3 more High Templar working in. I believe there's 1 storm. Yeah, there's currently 1 storm. There's soon to be 3. Ooh. Snipes High Templar. Kills the 3rd base. Not like this. Zealous, they do punish the Hydras though. True. Hydras are punished. Yakov consulting his army. As more Hydras get called out. These are efficient trades here for Shameless. True. They are efficient. And finally we have tech. Hive is on the way. Lurker Den is on the way. Yakov is taking up. This main army here from Shameless is still looking terrifying. Shameless, he might be crippled, but the main army is looking intense. 5 Archons, 3 Mortals, a couple of Storms. Yakov, he's fine. We got 12 Lunkers morphing in, he's certainly fine. If Shameless could push pre-Lurker, then he could win. He could overwhelm, but now that Lurkers are in the mix, this army is looking that much more vulnerable, that much less effective. So Shameless is in a very rough position here behind this, going for the fleet beacon, setting it for the mothership. He's trying. But the Lunkers are ready, papi. Yeah, Yakov, oh god. Yakov does punish, and Shameless cannot move in. Not into 12 Lurkers. It's not gonna happen. Bandits are coming from behind. Oh, barely doesn't get into the middle line. Clutch save there by Shameless. Very clutch. But here come the Lunkers. Range is finishing up. Hive upgrades are on the way. Banelings are coming in for a flank. Lurkers Zubara. Zoning back the main army, and this center base is going to fall. And takes on the Nexus. Waddling further in. There are 2 High Templar remaining, 2 Storms. It's not going to be enough to pick up the Storms. Oh, decent connection, okay. As Banelings, they do run in. So we get a decent first Storm. But Yakov is gaining more ground. Mothership is revealed. Lurkers pushing into the natural. And he's going for the dive. Oh! Yeah, shuts down the Zealots. Shuts them down, pushing into the bases as well. We do activate Cloak. And Shameless looks like we'll clean up the Lurkers. It's getting messy though. It's getting very, very messy, but he will get on top of the Lurkers. Trading out almost every single Archon. Yeah, expensive trades here for Shameless, and he does hold, he does survive, but at a cost. At a cost of almost the entire army. And Yakov can rebuild. Yakov has an economy. Yakov is on 85 workers, getting a 6th expansion. Yakov can rebuild and remax. Meanwhile, Shameless, that's all he had left. Now, if Shameless can counterattack before the Lurkers morph in, then sure, then he can still actually do this. But 10 Lurkers are about to finish. They're about to finish. They're ready. Lingbane run by is being set up. Yakov does catch an Archon. Nice pickup. Archon goes down. Bailings, they do roll into the mineral line. 17 probes going down. Late reaction by Shameless. Oh no! He doesn't get away. 23 probe kills. 23 probes. Again, Shameless, he has no economy. He hasn't had an economy for the entire game, to be honest. Again, for those that may be tuning in a little bit late, Shameless has been playing from behind from the beginning of the game. Shameless, he was hatch blocked, and it took him so long to take his natural. Like, his natural was heavily delayed, his third base was heavily delayed, the charge timing didn't quite hit. It's just been a very, very rough game here for Shameless. Trying to recover from the early game, trying and failing to. But he's been hanging in there, like for what, 16 minutes? Crazy. Been hanging in there. And again, there have been some windows of opportunity here for Shameless as well. Now he's trying to switch into Sky Toss, making 1 Tempest at a time. Yakov is maxed out. Oh, nice VMAX. Yeah, VMAX on the Vipers. Picking up 2 more High Templar. And once again, Yakov is distracting. Distracting for what? Distracting for another run by the Bailings. They get into the middle line once again. Again, the main armor was just distracting. As we get 24, 25, 29 probe kills. GG gets called, and YoungYakov will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. YoungYakov does claim the series, and I can also Shameless. Shameless, he was coming in as the favorite player, but both games here, game 2 and game 3, YoungYakov took a lead very, very early on. For those that weren't quite here for it, early on, YoungYakov, he did go for a hatch block. He was able to extend the hatch block even further, making lings, making queens, fighting back the army, delaying the counterattack, and Shameless even had to double expand to recover, making his natural and his third base at the same time. He tried to counterattack, he wasn't quite able to. He went for a charge follow-up in a moment of desperation, but he also kind of missed his timing there as well, and Yakov was in full control of the game. So shout out to Shameless for making a game out of it and for being able to have somewhat of a back and forth, but again, he never quite recovered from the early game damage. He was building up there, and he had potential with his storms, he had potential with the switch into Sky Toss, but just a very, very, very rough early game there, and it made everything else that much more difficult. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to YoungYakov as he does claim the series. And with that, we are going to be following Yakov into the semi-finals. Let's go. Meanwhile, shout out to PiGosaur letting us know that apparently Yakov has not gotten into the money before, which sounds crazy, but at the same time, I believe YoungYakov, he isn't really a regular in these tournaments. I mean, in general, Europeans are a rarer sight, but I don't think YoungYakov, he's not a regular like Max Pax or Geralt or Nickeract, for example. Even Shameless, I would imagine that players like Nickeract, Geralt, Shameless, and even Wayne at times, even eclipse the participation of YoungYakov, specifically in PiGosaur Cup. So yeah, I would imagine that he's a bit of a rarer sight compared to some of the other D-Gen Europeans that stay up this late. But really cool to see that he's made it maybe farther than he has before. GG. GG, well played.